All right, so Cori Bush, she was a member of the squad alongside AOC, Jamal Bowman, Ilhan Omar, among those other individuals. But she had a primary on Tuesday, and she was another vocal critic of Israel. But apparently, she lost her primary yesterday, so she's going to get ousted from Congress. Now, Cori Bush is a Democrat out of Missouri. Um, she lost in her district to an individual by the name of Wesley Bell. Now, Wesley Bell is he was a prosecutor, and he has been backed by the pro-Israeli group to the tune of $8 million was pumped into his campaign to defeat Cori Bush. Now, Wesley Bell sought to frame Bush as somebody who was out of touch with her constituents throughout the months-long race and highlighted multiple investigations into her campaign finances. But it's the criticism of the Israeli government more than anything else factor into the decision. And it came to define the campaign. Now, as a registered nurse and activist, Bush was the first member of Congress to call for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas 9 days after the Hamas attack on October 7th. Since then, she has remained a steadfast critic of Israel's handling of the war and accused Israeli officials of committing genocide. Now, the super PAC called the United Democracy Project, they aligned with the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, poured more than $8 million into the contest to boost Wesley Bell's campaign to replace Bush in Congress. Just as Democrats, a PAC that knocked U.S. aid to Israel, meanwhile, it has spent more than $2 million supporting Cori Bush. Now, the St. Louis primary isn't the first race where APAC has played a role in 2024. The group has put his weight behind an array of candidates challenging some of the most vocal Democratic lawmakers criticizing Israel's handling of the war in Gaza. Now, we all know back in July, Jamal Bowman lost his primary in a race to a more moderate candidate whose campaign was aided by outside funding, and they pumped $7 million into that individual's campaign. Now, several other members of the squad, a group of progressive lawmakers who came to prominence during Trump's term when he was in office, have managed to fend off similar challenges. Um, Summer Lee, she's a Democrat out of Pennsylvania, and Rashida Tlaib, Democrat out of Michigan. And other groups in the squad got more difficult challenges coming up ahead of him. Would be Ilhan Omar, and she faces a tough primary challenge from Minnesota or Minneapolis City Council member Don Samuels. So we got to see how that one plays out. But see, the same thing I said about Jamal Bowman applies to Cori Bush. She's worried about the war, Israel, and yet you got the war going on here when it comes to members within the black community. When you don't advocate for your constituents who's responsible for putting you in the position you're at, then don't expect them to come out and support you. You just can't. You worry about Israel and Hamas and the war going on over there. We got issues going on here. Where's the tangibles? Where are you advocating for tangibles? Why aren't you advocating for reparations, an anti-black hate crime bill, and then qualified immunity? Why aren't you advocating for that? You sitting up here acting like you just advocate for the war in Gaza and all that. They don't need you speaking for them. People within your own community need you speaking for them. They need you to be their representative. That's what the term representative means. And the root word in representative is for you to represent, but you're not representing them. That's why you lost. And I feel nothing for you, Cori Bushwhacker. I really don't. This also proves why you shouldn't just vote for anybody just because they're black. All these people that are black that are getting in our office or whatever, and they're not doing anything with it. They're not doing anything with it. They're just sitting up here trying to create their own profile, create a lane for themselves, trying to get notoriety in all this. But they're not advocating for black society because they get in there and they become corrupted by all the money, all the notoriety, all the book deals, all the speaking appearances. And they're not making nothing move. She's a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, another do nothing organization. So it is what it is. I don't feel nothing for you. But you don't advocate for black people ain't gonna advocate for you. It's the tried and true. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you clearly don't care about your constituents. So that karma came rearing its ugly head. And as far as this individual go, I don't know nothing about him, but when you take that kind of money and you're a prosecutor, you already know this guy's corrupt. This guy's corrupt from the word jump. But you guys let me know what y'all think, man. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. All right.